Okay, so in our last video, we have covered the basic setup of Elastic Container Service on AWS. So I hope you must have done it on your own. If not, then you can just uh, go back to the previous video and watch it carefully, watch the steps carefully, and just try to set it up on your own. Here on this video, we'll try to cover the load balancer setup with the ECS cluster. So how you can do it is we already have the cluster here, right? We already have the service. So when you configure, if you remember from the previous video, you can when you were when we were configuring the service, we had got an option of using load balancer as well. But if you try to update this configuration of the service, you would not see that option here. So since we are not getting any option here, so what I'll do is we'll create new service, right? We are using the same task definition, we are using the same task, but we'll choose the different service here that has the uh, demo service 2 that has the load balancer enabled. So everything will remain same, but for now we'll choose the load balancer. Okay, since we don't have the load balancer at this point of time, right? So what we'll do is we'll we'll create a load balancer and then see if it gives any option here. So what I'll do, I'll choose the load balancer here, the application load balancer. Okay, demo ALB. And now I would keep it internet facing so that we all can have a test. I'll choose the default one, default, and this would also be default. Okay. Now coming to the security group, it would again be default. And now the listener is port 80. And since we already have the port 80 uh, configured for the app, if you remember in the task definition in our last video. Now target group is very important here, right? And since the target group is not the instances here, since we have the ECS set up with Fargate, so I would select IP addresses here. Although it would not be fixed, it would be dynamic, but should be the IP address. Target group name is demo target group. I would keep the protocol same. I will choose the default settings, choose it like this. Next, and now it is asking me to define IP. Okay, so I prefer from systemnet. I'll remove this for now because we are going to configure it on ECS. So I'll choose this 80. I will not do much thing here. I'll create demo target group. I don't have any instances registered for now. So if you go here, register targets, it doesn't have anything because we have the ECS set up with Fargate. If it would have been EC2 instance, then we can go ahead and register the target as the EC2 instances where the application is hosted. Okay, so we'll keep this as is now. Go back to load balancer, refresh it. Now we have the target group here, and we'll come scroll down and we'll verify the services and now click create load balancer. And since load balancer is provisioning now, let us refresh this. Let's see if it gives us anything in the list. So we have got demo LB. It is still provisioning, but we have kept it like this. And this is what it would be registered once the service is up. It would spin up two EC2 instances, right? And since you have the option to configure health check, I will not use anything here. Let's say 3 seconds for now, just to test it. So the application Nginx is running on port 80, okay, on the container side. I'll, I've- I'll use the existing listener if there is any. We have configured it, right? If you remember, use the existing target group. We have already configured it. We'll use the same path, and now we'll create it. I hope load balancer is also created and available. It is still provisioning. I'm wondering whether it would allow the setup to be completed. This is the demo service 2, 0 by 2 1 task running. It is in progress because load balancer is still being provisioned. I'll close the target group page. It is still being provisioned. Check like this. Okay, and since this is HTTP, so we have configured it on port 80. Otherwise, I would have done it HTTPS. We have in enterprise level, we generally uh, do that just to be on, uh, just to have the application running on the HTTPS. So and for that we need the certificate. So since we don't have it handy and not doing anything related to that, just a ECS setup using load balancer to it. So it is now active, and let's see what's the status here. So it has now started replicating this, and since we have configured, I think, one um, desired in the service, so it is taking like this only, right? Let's go ahead and see what it says here. So one running the load balancer, it is now mapped here. One healthy, so there is one healthy target. So if you go back to the target group, we have configured, if you remember, we configure target group, and if you now see the targets, there should be one target here. See this, and it shows healthy. So that means this IP address is now mapped where the application is running, the container instance is there. And if I go here and open the load balance, so let's give a quick look here in the configuration and networking. So we have the DNS name here. Okay, earlier it was not when we were using the IP, direct IP. So if we go here and task, what all tasks is running, what all tasks are running. So we have, just a second, we'll close this one. So we have one task since the desired, we have chosen one. So now if I open this IP, let's see what I get. I get the Nginx page. However, the reason why we have chosen load balancer on top of it from the end user perspective, let's verify that as well. This is the IP. Now, if I open this DNS name for the ALB, you can find the same here as well in the load balancer section. If you go here, scroll down, this is the DNS name. It is same as what we have here, right? I'm sorry, here. Okay. Now, if I open this URL, what do you think? What would I get? See, here we go. So demo ALB, that means when your user hits this URL, that is the load balancer URL, it is actually allowing you to open the page, the Nginx page, which is the application is now hosted on the container instance. Which instance? This is the instance. So we have the same page. So instead of having user visibility on the IP side, so they can use this URL. But again, on top of it, we can configure the DNS name to have the FQDN, correct FQDN. So you can configure it like that, and it goes like this only. So once you have the DNS entries set up, you can like map this ALB URL to that DNS name. So whatever DNS name would be like For example, if that application is engine, so I would um, take the DNS name as like engines.shankars.com. However, it will not open anything, but I'm just giving you an example. This is how you can configure. So I think that's all for now. I hope you have got much learning from this. I wish you all the best. Do it on your own, and please leave the comments if there is any improvisation required. Thank you for watching.